Hello, Nemesis Gaming League, and welcome back to the start of our final regular season week here as we have divisional week yet again, the last two matches in the divisional week. But first, before we get to that, we have last week's week 8 player of the week to announce. Alongside me tonight, I got Sylvian, first time on the mainstream. How we doing, Sylvian?
I'm doing very good. A little bit of nerves going on around here, but I'm very excited to be on stream with you. And today we have some very interesting player of the week choices. A lot of fun people that we all know and love. So I'm very excited to get this information to you with speed.
Yeah, we do have a really stacked player of the week lineup here for tonight, and we had a lot of close races too. Taking a look through this, so Sylvian, why don't you go ahead and take away Titan here? Who was the Titan player of the week?
There's been a lot of close contenders for Titan Player of the Week. We got Tox, we got Luca, we got Duckworth, Miles, Mayo. However, out of all of these, it's very close to each other. They have very, very similar stats. But however, Titan Player of the Week will have to go to Duckworth from Nebula, popping off with 518 points per game, getting that win versus Inferno, and even doing really good against Phoenix despite being swept.
Yeah, and Duckworth, he's been in the conversation a few times this year, and definitely worth it and well deserved there. And a lot of it was a close race for that Titan Player of the Week, but we are going to head down to rival Player of the Week this week. Again, another really you'd think it would be as close of a race as Titan and how rival has been this season, but um, you know some names up there. Pelosa, he popped off in a couple games that he played. Seabiscuit, Drago, Luis looking really good through 8 games. Crafty Dominus, but this week, man, the myth, the legend himself, getting his first player of the week this season. I know he got edged out a couple times. Is gonna go to Mayo for Hydra. And again, you listed him off in that Titan League as well. He was up there in the running for the Titan Player of the Week, even though he's a rival player. So hats off to Mayo, and finally getting that rival Player of the Week he's been searching for.
Yeah, very close to taking a Week 7 Player of the Week, being slightly overtaken by iTrash on the Chimeras. However, he gets this one thanks to his insane performance. Like you said, like over 200 more score on average compared to other contenders.
Yeah, 672 scored through 6 games, 2.67 goals, 2.17 saves, and 0.67 assists per game. So, kind of hard to beat that when a man's popping off for 670 points, almost 700 points a game.
Absolutely. So, congratulations to Mayo on Hydra. Next, we go to Challenger. And there's been a lot of close contenders for Challenger. There's been Cottony, Geo. There's been Mr. X Climax, Kratos. Dr. Waffle seems to be up there, but he's not a challenger. There's Isaac, and there's Jaegers. Out of all of these, though, the winner of Challenger Player of the Week is Isaac, 466 points per game. And a lot of people wanted this to happen during the last Player of the Week reveal. Looking at you, Owini.
Yeah, and again, all season long, Isaac has just been popping off and kind of destroying this Challenger League as a a top name in this Challenger League, and you know he's been in the conversation. I feel like almost every week, and it's nice to see some new names up on that list as well. Mango's up there. Um, he's been looking pretty good as of late as well, and so but Isaac again just unbelievable performance, popping off yet again in the Challenger League, and is going to take that one. But we are going to head ourselves down to the Prospect League. where you and I both reside, Sylveon. And, this one was also a really, really close race. You had OK Tiny up there, Beast Mode up there, Teammates there for Velocity, Mary for the Gladiators, Redwater for the Bandits, Midnight, Big C-Dubs, all really good names. Sylveon, you're up there. You were in contention here for this week. But who's going to take it this week is going to be Mitso, averaging 519 points a game, 1.75 goals, and 1.5 saves as well, on a crazy 40% shooting percentage as well. So, hats off to Mitso. Warhawks, they're battling it out. They're close in that, playoff play-in hunt right there, as a lot of teams in Prospect are there. So, it was definitely needed for him to pop off, and well-deserved as well. As we played him a couple weeks ago, and he was definitely pretty cracked.
Mitso, the Warhawk powerhouse. This week, he's facing Vipers and Bandits to try and clinch these playoff spots, and it's already a good sign as they swept the Vipers just recently. Now, we go into Novice, where there's been a lot of close contenders, just like all other leagues. These scores very, very similar to each other. We got Karis. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong or right. I'm sorry. TTV, Mr. Marino, Old Snipsy, Ambi Outcast, Light Knight, Jeff Masters, One Pop Shop, One Paranoid Monk, and 7 Sub-Zero, and Brainy the Blade 25. However, out of all of these, player of the week for this week will have to go to Flight Knight from the Ninjas, averaging 501 points per game, 3.38 shots per game, 1.12 goals per game, and 1.88 saves per game on average.
Yeah, Flight Knight, he's having an unreal season here. My player, I just traded for him off of Genesis, got him over on the Ninjas, and him and Outcast have been, dueling it out here, and they kind of were fighting for it for a little bit, but they decided as a team that they were going to try to let Flight Knight get the player of the week this week, trying to give him a little more chances because they knew he had such a strong, heavy first series last week. So, great to see my players up there, fighting for the player of the week. But, a lot of novice players out there that are really good this season. Jeff Masters has been up there all season long. Same thing with Paranoid Monk, One Pop. They've been up there. Some of these other players, Icarus, didn't quite have enough games played. But in the games he did play, he would have been in contention had he, gotten quite a few more games in last week. As you do remember, you have to play in at least 6 games through the 2 series to be in contention to get the Player of the Week award. So unfortunate that some of those players didn't quite reach the 6 games. There was a couple players with 5, but this week's Player of the Weeks, they're definitely well deserved. Taking a look at all these stats, and I'm excited to see who's going to finish up really strong here in this last week, Sylveon, and who's going to propel their teams and secure those last few play-in / playoff spots.
Yeah, all these divisional rivalries, have been going on lately. There's 2 more games left, and there's a lot of close teams. Not many have actually made the play-ins or the playoffs yet. There's some leagues, there's a few going on there. However, I'm really excited to see what happens finishing off this season, and hope it all goes well.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, we are going to get ready to go ahead into our first matchup of the night, which is going to be a great divisional, matchup here between Ascension and the Raptors, and they're both tied. They're tied at 14-2. They're looking pretty good, but I'll send this one to Puggles and is Charles here, as they were going to take away this game, and they're going to bring you that cast, and they'll tell you a little bit more about that one. So have a good night, everyone, and enjoy the stream. And here's Puggles and his Charles.